Hello, this is Mr. Jarrett, and in this video tutorial, we are going to be drawing this isometric object, or 3D object, using the multi-view drawing that we have here. So when you are looking at a multi-view, the biggest thing that you need to start out and look at is where is the origin located. So in this case, since this is the first one, I made it easy and I just put the origin located in the bottom left-hand corner. So you can see here that it's in the bottom left-hand corner on our front view. When we look at it from the top, it's also in the bottom left-hand corner, and same thing over here. Okay, now that can be confusing for some people because they have a hard time understanding that you're looking at this from the side. So that's looking at it from over here. So it's not on this corner out here. This is on the left corner, which is all the way back here. Okay, so there's some depth that you can kind of see, but these are flat views. So it's very hard for some people to understand that the origin is not in a different location each time. It's actually always in the same location. It's just you might be seeing it further back or closer towards you. Okay, so now that we know the origin is in the lower left-hand corner, we need to look at what type of tools or features we might use. Thinking through this, I know if I were to draw it from the front view and extrude back, I'm going to be adding material here and here, which is actually a slant. So that would mean that I'm going to have a whole second step and cut that material off later on. Well, if I draw it from the right side view, I can get rid of this piece so I don't have to cut it off, but I still am adding material here, which I'm going to have to cut off. So what view is the best view? Well, maybe the top view. Well, if I draw from the top view, I can get rid of it here, but once again, I'm still adding material. So maybe there is not a lesser of the evils. In this case, I think it's easiest just to draw this thing from the top view because you can extrude the whole entire bottom piece up, then you can extrude this whole entire thing up, and then you don't necessarily have to make another sketch to cut this off. Since this is slanted, we could just use the chamfer feature. Okay, so that was a lot of explanation. I'm going to pull this to my other screen. I would recommend you doing the same. And then in SolidWorks, we're going to create a new part. And we want to make sure that this is in MMGS or metric. Okay. Then I'm going to get the sketch tool, sketch, and let's select the top view. Then I'm just going to simply use my line tool and just kind of draw that basic shape of what I see. Okay, so that's kind of the basic outline. And then I'll draw this in as well. Notice you do not want to project to this dot here because that would be the midpoint. You just want to go in here to this line. Okay. Now, I didn't draw the other line that's located right about here. I'll pull this back over so you can see. I didn't draw this line right here because this line, remember, is the slanted piece. That's this, and I'm going to do that later on. Okay, so for right now, I just drew the outside of it. Then I can go ahead and I can start dimensioning everything. And drawing in metric is very easy. It is basic, just whole numbers here a lot of times. You don't mainly have decimal places or anything like that. So it makes it a lot easier to use. Okay, for the angle, you want to click on a straight line and you want to click on the angled line and move your mouse out in that direction. And it says this is 45 degrees. Now, if that messes this corner up, you can just hit escape and just move your lines around by clicking and holding on a dot. You should probably know that by now. Okay. I actually don't have to put in this 10. I kind of forgot about that because this is at 45 degrees. I do need to put in this one, which is 20. Okay, now the rest of this stuff is blue because I need to combine my measurements. So this is everything I had on the top view, but remember this shows width going this way and depth going back. So that depth is also shown in this view. Okay, your right side view shows the height and your depth. So this is our depth. So we're going to be using these measurements now. Okay. Now the one thing that it doesn't show, which I guess I could have done a better job showing this in the picture, this blue line. So this blue line is actually lined up right here with this point. So I'm going to select that blue line, hold in Shift, click on that point, and I'm just going to make them coincident. Okay, and that'll shift that thing over. So it doesn't really show that in the picture, but that's what you should do. So let's go up to the Features tab and hit Extrude. And I'm going to click just this piece first, and I'm going to extrude that up a total of 10. And I got that measurement from this right here. So remember, now we're looking at height because we were at the bottom of this drawing. So we're here up to here, and that's 10. That's the base. Okay, then the entire thing, which I'm going to do next, is 30. So we can get the extrude button again. It's going to give us this warning saying we need an existing sketch. Hit the drop down, sketch. And then we want to click in this rectangle, and we want to make that 30. Okay. Now we just need to chamfer this edge. So on our Features tab, underneath Fillet is Chamfer. And this is at 45 degrees. So if I'm at chamfer type, you see there's an A and a D. This is angle and distance. Okay. Items to chamfer, we want this corner. Select that corner. We want 45 degrees, and this goes back 10. So green check. And I knew it went back 10 by looking right here. 45 degrees, and it goes back 10. Okay. Now we can just change our materials, and this is cast alloy steel, which is right here. It's a default for you. Go to Evaluate Mass Properties, and you should get 178.85 grams. If you got that, you can save this and move on to the next one. If you didn't, go back in, either edit one of your sketches, your extrusions, or maybe your chamfer, and problem solve until you got that correct. Then save it and move on to the next.